This is an audio post with an automatic reader, but no AI. Check the link to the post in this video's description. Welcome. Yesterday I had beautiful, even poetic, visions of what God is. Not of who it is, because God wouldn't be someone, since definitions would limit it. We need to remember to use the most general, the broadest, when seeking to approach what even words couldn't describe, much less those that limit it. As I was falling asleep, a question arose in the void. What if we were living in God? Not evolving and learning, not seeking something, but existing, living in it. I reflected on all the world's confusion and, at the same time, found myself reflecting on the confusion within myself, sometimes dark. As if I had realized the obvious. When we are in a difficult situation, thoughts can be dark, like part of the world we see. But that doesn't define me, and I can avoid those thoughts or learn from the shadow inside me. So, I let the thought expand in the void, and the image began to form. And the image was, you are not searching for God. You are God, searching for itself. What if God is something that, upon becoming aware of itself, being existence, creates within itself everything it perceives inside, existing inside it. And it, without being able to deny it, as repressing what it is, everything exists, and we, as a reflection of this, take steps that we will call forward, evolved, and sometimes steps backward, unlearning. Without realizing it, we exist as the expression of our own greater consciousness, which can see within itself the shadow, the animalistic, but also love, peace, boredom. This does not command, it only perceives. We express this existence. And when I speak of consciousness, I am not speaking of the egoic consciousness that sees itself as the body and mind that says, hey, do this, or hey, don't think about that anymore. But of the consciousness that, in silence, in total surrender to the emptiness within one understand that it only observes, it only exists. In observant consciousness, one find one own divinity. And if we are this self limited by skin, but also this central self, which is the true self hidden in the midst of the shadows, anima, animus, archetypes. It is not he, an other being, an I, but I plus I which in the sum is still one. A unity. This unity is what they say permeates everyone and everything, which justifies the vision of God in the sun or the river, in a person or animal, etc. If that's the case, this unity permeates everything, it's in everything. But nothing is if we try to see it. It's the invisible part that, so subtle, connects everything without us realizing it. Not because it wants to connect everything, but because everything is it. The greatest miracle is discovering who you truly are. Thus, I understood that night what I had been perceiving for some years, but couldn't express. There is nothing outside to ask for help. There is nothing outside to perform miracles for us. There is nothing outside, and it's no use of awakening to stop seeing in it, and see a whole as the universe. This is just changing the word, but still believe in something outside. It's no use expanding an idea of a God outside, because there is no outside. And understanding this, how difficult it seemed to believe and have faith in myself. How difficult it is to be certain in the observing silence, in the observing consciousness. That it is not a third party taking care of a good child, but you and you equal as one. And you finding yourself, knowing who you are, in the state of observing consciousness, is your own miracle, your own infinity. After all that image before sleep, I wondered if the idea of something that exists inside doesn't take away its infinity. If I say inside, I think of outside. And once again, in a moment of silence, almost asleep, a thought arose, now from myself, that made me smile at myself, finding humor in myself. Look at me, a grain of sand in the desert, trying to understand what isn't even of this universe and doesn't even know if there is a beyond. There are philosophies that don't bother with understanding what this God, is because they've already understood that, for our size, it's more worthwhile to seek to be like it than to understand it. That is, it's more worthwhile to seek good actions, the sensations that show you the way, the silence that reveals itself as peaceful, creative, loving, than to try to describe what is beyond our capacity. And increasingly, I prefer to act in these divine aspects than to try to understand divinity itself. Ultimately, as far as we've come, it may not even exist as something separate and boxed up with characteristics as some imagine. So, given the irrelevant time we exist here as individuals in an infinite existence of the known universe, perhaps it's more worthwhile to follow these steps knowing that in the most divine actions, like living in a state of love, the kind that possesses no barriers or rules, that doesn't forgive because it never needed to blame, because it never felt superior to do so, the kind that asks nothing in return, nor is given to receive glory or salvation after this irrelevant time we spend here, given the universe's own existence time. The vision came largely in images, and I hope I managed to put it into words. Maybe one day I'll draw and record them here. Until then, I see you in the next post.